This is Corolla Digital.
Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it's me, Alison Rosen. I'm here with the one and only Lynette Carolla, and this is a special, super duper, cross-pollinating, for crying out loud is your new best friend episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend for crying out loud.
So does that mean now you're gonna cry out loud and then I'll be your best friend?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. It's like for crying out, Alison, Lynette Carolla is your best friend too. But if you're a for crying out loud listener, you might be wondering what I'm doing in your feed, and I'm just sitting here, just being a feed hog. And then if you're an Alison Rosen is your new best friend listener, you're wondering why there's this episode on a day when you normally don't get an episode. And I feel like it's win-win all around.
Yes.
So thanks to everyone for listening. If you're one of my listeners, listen to For Crying Out Loud. If you're one of Lynette's listeners, listen to my show.
Although I have a feeling my listeners already listen to your show for some reason. I have that tingly feeling.
Sense. If they need to listen to something that's not parenty.
Yes. Yeah.
Parenty.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, so
my co-host Stephanie's out sick. Stephanie Wilder Taylor is out with the flu, and we didn't get to record last week, and she's out again this week, and I don't know, she got like the swine flu or some shit. But she's down.
Yeah, I saw a photo. Did you tweet I don't know where I saw the photo of her wearing a mask.
Oh,
she put it on the Facebook. She put it on her Facebook feed.
Yes, and now Gary,
hi Gary,
who all the listeners know, is also sick.
Yep.
What do you have? Do you know?
I don't know. Whatever Fondelier got from his girlfriend. I fucking hate him right now.
Fondelier's sick too?
Yeah, has been for like 3 days.
Who gets sick in this 80-degree weather?
Well, Fondelier knowingly made out with someone who was sick.
Oh.
And then you made out with Fondelier?
Wait a second, back up. Matt's got a girlfriend? Or a lady friend?
Yes. I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
Why?
That's nice.
Because that's my roommate. I'm not...
Aww.
This shouldn't be my place.
Have you heard them
to be
have sex?
airing his fucking dirty laundry?
Oh, so now she's his dirty laundry?
Whatever.
Stop
assaulting
Gary,
me. I'm sick.
Gary,
I don't know what I should be saying.
Gary, have you heard them have sex? Just answer that, and then we'll be done.
Yes or no?
That means yes.
Okay.
Icky. So, Lynette, let's start at the beginning with you. Where did you grow up?
Congratulations to you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Which I want to talk to you about in a little bit.
Yeah, actually, because I went to a couple potential wedding venues this weekend that I thought I was really going to like, and I didn't like them, and now I feel like the whole thing is too much of a pain.
It's daunting.
So I want to. That's one of the things I want to ask you about.
Okay.
Your wedding to Adam. I actually don't know much about it. I know, bits about how you guys met and different parts of your relationship and stuff. And of course, I know everything I hear from working with Adam.
Right.
But I feel like there's a lot about you that we don't know. So tell us.
This is exciting. I've never been interviewed before. Well, not really.
Oh, it'll be painless.
And sitting here in Adam's chair. What do you want to know? Where I grew up?
Yeah, where'd you grow up?
I'm from the Valley, the West Valley. Adam grew up in the East Valley, North Valley. It's all the same shithole. But I grew up in Canoga Park, and then they switched it to West Hills to sound better, I guess. But Canoga Park High School had a lot of gangbangers, so my dad sent me to a hippie school in Van Nuys, and that's where I graduated. And so there was no like high school football game. It was a school it started by parents and teachers. We called our teachers by their first name. There was no bells. It was very liberal, and it was great. I mean, I learned how, kumbaya and everything, but I didn't learn.
Was it public or private?
Public. It
was
Valley
Montessori.
Alternative It's a magnet school. but not the kind of magnet school that's around now. I think it's a little different. It just everybody was bussed in from so there's a lot of blacks and Hispanics, and I that's how I learned to rap and beatbox.
I did not know that you can rap and beatbox.
Yeah, and dance. And that's where I got my rhythm. So
wow.
Yeah.
You know, this is reminding me. Adam says that you're really good at doing impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you do?
I
do you
don't
ever
know.
do them
I just
publicly?
pick them up as we go along. Like I picked up on Dr. Bruce's.
She does a pretty mean Adam.
Well, I could, but yeah, I can do Adam. It'll come natural in a little bit. But like Bruce, for instance, I picked up on the, very, we have a heroin problem in America right now. And so every time he was at our house or something, he'd say very, and then I'd repeat it, and Adam would laugh. And that's where that came from. And I don't know who else I can do a good, what's my favorite show? Gary, what's the show you just guys introduced me to?
Breaking Bad?
Yes. What's his name? I haven't
White.
been watching
Jesse.
it.
You
Jesse.
can do it. She can do a pretty good Jesse. That's true.
Oh, let's hear it.
Oh, shit. Hey, yo, Mr. White. You want to cook, bitch? I can't do it.
That's so good.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm very
Love that
impressed.
show. Yeah, so.
Okay, so you went to a hippie school. It sounds like it was a good, you liked it though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good childhood. I had, parents, Italian parents. My parents were from Italy. My mom came late into the country in her early 20s, and so she spoke with broken English my whole life. And my dad was born in Italy but grew up in America, in Cleveland, Ohio, and they were together but they hated each other. And my mom taught black. She was a third-degree black belt in 5 martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah, and so my whole life she was always teaching self-defense, and my dad was pushing me to go take the class because my dad was he's one of these paranoid NRA dudes, and if somebody's shooting at you, serpentine, or
What does that mean?
It means like you zigzag away when you're running away, and how to
No, my dad's always like, if someone's trying to attack you, fake a heart attack and drop dead because they're not going to wait around. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go serpentine instead.
Serpentine,
yeah. That's better.
Yeah. So my dad would, he was paranoid. I wasn't allowed to go. My parents were strict. I couldn't go to anybody's houses to spend the night. I couldn't
really
go out past, 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock. It was, and then as I got older, into my, high school age, then I started kind of rebelling a little bit.
I want to ask about that, but the not allowing you to spend the night at people's houses and the curfew and all that, was it fear of the outside world, or was it fear of you? Like, what were they afraid of?
They didn't. First of all, my parents didn't have any friends, so they didn't socialize, and they didn't really have a good sense of what was really going on out in the world.
Is that
for some
feel like
reason?
That was because they were immigrants and didn't fit
Kind,
in? Or?
yeah, because all their family was back east, and so they were very close. They're just close with family members only, and then they moved. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, but we moved here when I was 7 to the Valley. And so I grew up in the Valley, but so everybody else, they left back home. My dad wanted to work in the entertainment industry, so he pushed me into acting, and he pushed me into self-defense. And
what did he do?
My dad was an advertising executive, and he worked at Channel 9 for and KTTV, Channel 11, Metro Media, all that. But so they did that kind of. They were just overprotective. They were worried that I couldn't go to a friend's house that had a Doberman dog. I couldn't go over there because the dog was going to attack. It's a little paranoid. I think it was my dad more than my mom, but my mom was she was crazy though. My mom was crazy. I'm sure you've heard, but
I have, but only a few stories.
She would embarrass the shit out of me. She would. She would.
That's another good impression you do.
My
fans
mom?
really like your mom.
All right, I'll do her in a sec. Well, yeah, she would call my friends' houses when I was over there and say, my friends never wanted to pick up the phone. It was before caller ID, obviously. And they're like, uh-oh, it's Helen Paradise is calling. Helen Paradise, I'm not answering it. Because she was always happy, but she had a temper, and she could be aggressive, and she didn't take no for an answer. And so she'd call, and she'd say, let me talk to Lynette. And they'd be like, hi, Helen, she's not here. Oh, don't lie to me. Put her on the phone right now. Let me talk to Lynette, And they're like, honestly, she's not, I was not born yesterday. Put her on the phone. And she was just scary. And she would come to my friend's house down the street and she would pull me out by my hair and get home right now. And she would dig her nails. She was abusive, I don't know. She was just aggressive. She would, grab me by my arms, dig her nails.
Was that when you had you disobeyed her, or was that just she was picking you up?
I think I was being a little smart ass or something. She must. It was a little. I would argue with her. I don't want to come home right now. I wasn't. I wasn't that scared of her. So I stood up to her, and she would get mad, and then she'd have to come over and pull me by my hair, and it was embarrassing and all that kind of stuff. But I always knew that there was something wrong with that. She had something was off with her. She was very eccentric. She wore short shorts and, when she was 75 years old. And she had a nice body and everything, but there was something wrong. There was something off. And my dad was normal and laid back and nice. And so I had my dad. My dad was around. So that's why I think I grew up okay. I don't think I'm that fucked up.
Did you ever talk to your dad about your mom?
Oh yeah.
What was the consensus?
She's crazy. They didn't like each other. I have brothers that are 10 and 8 years older than me. And
oh wow!
When they
you got all from the same parents?
The same family, yeah. And when they grew up, they were in Cleveland, and so they grew up with a family, and they had a really nice childhood. Then when we moved here, they were in their teens and they were off on their own. And I was still at home and with these two that hated each other, and they were fighting all the time, and so it was a stressful environment when I was growing up. So, yeah, my dad just he stayed until I basically was old enough, I stayed home until I was 21. I didn't move out until I was 21, and he stayed pretty much until I was in my 20 when I turned 20. He's like, now I got to go. Bye. You're on your own.
And where did he go?
He bought a house out in Santa Clarita. And he's still there. And that's where he is.
Was it hard for you at that point when they split?
No, I didn't blame him. I said, go. Yeah, be happy. And my mom, though, she took it hard. She was upset, and she didn't want him to move out, even though she hated him and they didn't like each other. But she didn't want him. She didn't want a divorce. She didn't want him to leave. She didn't want to be alone. Now she has to take care of the house. Now and so then I had to take care of her. That was my job. And then I started helping her pay her bills, taking care of her, and checking up on her, and all that kind of stuff.
How did you feel about that?
I hated it because my two brothers, one brother has schizophrenia, and he was living on his own, and then my other brother just was having a family. He was married and just got married and had kids, and he was checked out, so it was just left on me to take care of her, and it was very hard. It was very hard, and then of course, I met Adam, and then Adam has money, which was nice. He was making a living, and so he was helping me help her. This is very early on. I mean, I've been, I was thinking about it, I've been with Adam for 18 years. We've been together.
Wow.
I know. So, so early on, and then she just died, and that was it. When my kids were 9 months old. So she got to see my kid. She went in a very nice, I feel good about how she died because she was 75 years old. She was losing it really bad for the last few years mentally. I mean, she was seeing Jesus on the walls and stuff like that. I mean, she was going. And
so was she schizophrenic at that point?
I think that she had the schizophrenic. Yeah, I think that she passed it on to my brother.
Yeah,
which worries me because, it's genetic. So I don't know.
With your brother, is he still living on his own?
Yeah, and he lives with my other brother. My other brother is an engineer. They're both civil engineers. My one brother that's schizophrenic is like a beautiful mind kind of schizophrenic. It's just math problems calm the voices down in his head, and there's math equations all over his room. And he's not a paranoid, so he doesn't think people are after him. He just hears auditory hallucinations, and he's on medication, and he knows, and he takes his medication, and he loves so my brother built a house, my other brother built a house and a guest house for him, and he lives in the guest house, and they're on horse property, and he has the horses and stuff. So it all ended up very nice.
Yeah.
And my mom passed away in a very nice, she laid down to take a nap, and then she never woke up, and so she must have had a heart attack or something, and that was that. And
what was it like growing up with a brother with schizophrenia?
that was bad. That was another, yeah.
What age did it start coming out?
I was like, he skipped his last year of high school and went straight to college. And
Is he the one who's 8 or 10 years older?
8 years older. And so he was doing so that's when it started kicking in. That's when schizophrenia kicks in, and you're early.
Yeah, 20s, right?
Yes. And so his hair started growing out. He was unkept and unshaven. He wasn't taking a shower. He was wearing sunglasses in the house. He was very, hidden in his room. Yeah. And my dad.
No signs before that?
No. He was very jovial. When he was a kid, he was like very outgoing and very nice and a sweet kid. And then it's like his personality just started changing within kind of rapidly. And then my parents, we didn't know what was going on. My parents kind of thought he was on drugs or something. And then he would wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares and come running into my bedroom screaming. And that was the most terrifying thing as a child that ever, that always, I think about that from time to time. It's like, it was, when you're sleeping and you're a 10-year-old and somebody comes screaming into your bedroom, like, and then my dad wakes up and my dad's mad because he doesn't know what's going on with him, and he thinks maybe he's faking it. And so they start arguing in my bed. And it's like, oh my God, it was awful. And then we figured it out and got him help, and that was that. But yeah, and living with, he would be in the dark, sitting in the dark and in a room. And I was home alone with him a lot. And I wasn't afraid of him at all. But at night is when I was afraid of the night. I was worried that that was going to happen, But then, or maybe I was old. I can't remember how old I was. We could do the math, but he sucked all the math gene right out of me. I can't do math at all. It's very bad. But yeah, but everything has worked out just fine. He's happy.
Are you close with your brothers now?
Kinda. My other brother, I'm okay with him. He's the brother that's 10 years older, married a woman that I became and had 3 kids with, and was married for 10 years and raised a family with. And she became like my big sister, and I got very close with her. And then they got a divorce, but I was closer to her than him. And I stayed that way, and he got mad and resentful, and he couldn't understand. And I put her in my wedding party and all that, and he was with his new wife, and the new wife was pissed off that she was in my wedding party, and so there was all that for a while. But now everything's fine and dandy. But I'm closer to his ex-wife than I am to him. And my brother with schizophrenia, I talk to him every other week. I check in on him, but he's fine. He's happy. Yeah,
I think that's really sweet, that, just going back to something you said before, that Adam was a source of strength or support for you during all that time, because I think that some people might not realize that that's how Adam would be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was when I first met Adam is when my mom started going cuckoo. And my mom, she would be, I guess she was manic, but she was manic, not depressive, but manic, the opposite of depression, but she was just an upper.
Manic?
Yes, there you go, manic.
I don't know what
manic,
the actual word is, but
manic-y. And so whatever, and my mom is now keep in mind she's an old school Italian, so she reveres her firstborn son, and she loves men more than women. She hated all my girlfriends, but if I had a guy friend that she really liked, he was smart, she liked him. So when Adam came along, she loved Adam, and she would call me and yell at me like, "What'd you make for dinner for him?" Well, you better go cook for him. Well, what are you gonna make? Go cook him dinner. What's going on? And then if I was going to Vegas with the girls, she would have a fit. She was, "What are you doing to go to Vegas with the girls?" No, you don't do that. You stay home with your boyfriend or your whatever. And
so really traditional.
Yes, very traditional. Yeah, and so when I first met, that was then. So then she started getting a little sick and stuff like that. And Adam's told the story before about how she was hauled away. And the police had to come, and she kicked the officer, and she's kicking and screaming. But Adam was like, whatever, I was so stressed out, and she had shitty insurance, and she was going to the shitty, state, the hospital, like for drug addicts and stuff. Well, she wasn't being taken care of in good facilities, and it was stressful for me because I wanted her to get on medication, but she didn't want to get on medication. And Adam was like, "We'll do whatever. Don't worry. We'll do whatever it takes to make sure she's okay." And he was like that the whole time. Yeah, that's how Adam is. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. And now, do you attribute that to his love of you, or just that he's like the guy who will do the right thing, or?
I think
like,
it's
a
little bit of both, I think. If it was Ray, I don't think he would have been so generous because he feels that Ray needs to get his shit together. It's the situation kind of thing. If he loves you, but then he had another friend recently that fell off the wagon and is married, has kids, and had to go, he was missing because he was doing drugs during Christmas time, which was like last year. And he helped him immediately, like the friends called. And, so it just depends on the situation, I think. Adam, he's fair is what he is. If he's fair and he thinks you deserve it, he'll more than that, won't even think twice and to help a person. Wouldn't even think twice. Yeah.
Do you feel like Adam is misunderstood? Like, are there things you wish you could tell?
Yeah.
In what way?
Yeah.
Or what do you wish you could tell people about him?
I'm a big fan of the podcast. I listen every day. You're very good, Alison.
Thank you.
And Adam says a lot of mean things and and it's misinterpreted out there. People think that he's racist or he's misogynist, and he's not, and it drives me nuts. And everything is always taken out of context. If you listen to the show, I mean, when he had Gavin Newsom on, people were calling him a racist and all that, and it's like, did you listen? You have to listen to the show. But I guess if you listen to the show, maybe some people do interpret it as racism. But Adam's not. He's not racist at all. He's not like that, and people think that. And especially like the gays and stuff. He's all for gay marriage. He's all but he's sick of hearing about. He just feels that he's speaking his truth. I don't know if it is the truth, but he speaks his truth, and he's not afraid of the repercussions and. But I don't like it. I don't.
What don't you like?
I don't like when people, like on Twitter. Sometimes I don't really pay attention that much, but if there was a show like the Gavin Newsom show, I will go and I'll look at his Twitter feed or look at people's blogs and see what they're saying about him, and that bothers me. And I'm sure it would bother anybody, any wife of somebody like that. But
does it bother you more than it bothers him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have to tell him sometimes, like when he was doing this morning radio show, he called Roseanne Barr like a hack or something. She's a hack. But Roseanne, he's met Roseanne and she likes him. And he came home from work that day and I said, Adam, Roseanne's a nice person. She likes you. You met her, And he's like, well, there's nothing. It's not personal. I'm just talking about her comedy and her ride. She's a hack, whatever. And it's, and I said, Adam, you have to listen. You have a morning radio show in Los Angeles where this is the television and entertainment movie. This is the industry town. The people are in the industry are going to be listening. Maybe you watch what you say a little bit. No, he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So, but then I also admire that in him. I wish I could be like. I don't know if I wish I could be like that, but in certain ways, I admire it. But
I mean, for better or for worse, I think it is part of what people love about him. Mm-hmm. You can sense that he's not altering what he thinks or what he wants to say to appease anyone.
Right. He never. But see, here's the thing: Adam doesn't do that in any type of situation, no matter. What I also drives me nuts with Adam is if we're meeting somebody new and we're sitting and talking, and then somebody new makes a joke. you do a courtesy laugh. Yeah. Adam doesn't give a courtesy laugh because he doesn't think it's funny. And it's like, come on, until you're feeling uncomfortable. Now, I don't know if that's Asperger or what the fuck that is, but it's like, it's a little uncomfortable, and my friends come over and it's like, Adam, say hi, look him in the eye and say hello. It's either he doesn't talk at all or he talks their ear off and then he leaves as soon as they pipe up and he's like, all right, I'm going to go drink my red wine, yeah, what were we talking about?
All of that.
Yeah. That's,
do you think this is going to sound like I'm almost making potentially an insulting assessment,
go ahead. You
which
can
I'm
insult
not.
Him all you want.
No, I'm wondering, how do you think your upbringing made you drawn to Adam or vice versa?
I can tell you because
okay.
my therapist told me.
Oh, perfect.
Well, I had a mother that was very domineering and pushy and aggressive and unpredictable, and I never knew what was kind of where she was going to be coming from when I came home. Was she going to be in a bad mood or a good mood? So I developed skills to kind of deal with sort of a hard kind of personality. Mm-hmm. She could probably explain it better than I can, but that kind of, not saying that Adam's like my mom, but
right. Skills to deal with that unpredictable, mercurial kind of.
Yeah. Because, Adam and I, we get along really well for the most part, but then there's some times where he becomes the asshole Adam and kicks in, and then it's like, and it's like, well, why are, and I don't know. It's the coffee cup and the mug in the sink. It's like, come on, really? But that's Adam. And, I chose to deal with it, to be in a relationship with somebody like that. So I think that's why, or that's how. And he kind of reminds, my girlfriend said this too, he kind of reminds me of my dad too, a little bit.
In what way?
A little bit. Well, I can't describe it. Protective, safety. Mm-hmm. I can't describe it, but I'm saying words that that they're both alike in a lot of ways.
Maybe it's a similar feeling, similar safe feeling.
Yeah.
But just, I'm not sure I understood exactly what you're saying. You have skills to deal with someone who's kind of, you don't know what direction they're going to be coming from. Are you saying that is how Adam is?
No, it's not how Adam is, but Adam is a very strong personality. He has a very strong presence, no matter what. And I have the skills to deal with somebody like that. Mm-hmm. Basically, that's that in a nutshell. And she, explained it to me, and we've talked about it and all that. But in the nutshell, that's how it is. And so he's not, like I said, he's not like my mom, but he's my mom was a very strong presence. She was, and you knew when she was in a room, everybody knew, my friends would call her, Hell in Paradise is calling, don't answer the phone. She's just a very, personality. And so, and I'm not like that. So I don't know, maybe it's opposites attract or something.
And how did having a mom like that affect your relationships with women?
My mom was she didn't like, this is going to sound terrible. She didn't like my friends that were not attractive. And she wanted me to only hang out with the attractive girlfriend. So if I had a girlfriend that was cute and blonde, she would love that girl. Amy, she could come over anytime. I like that Amy. And then
it's like your mom wanted you to hang out with juggies.
Yeah, my mom would have loved the juggies. Yes, she likes that. She likes to, look good. What's very eerie and creepy is Natalia reminds me a lot of my mom. She's a lot like my mom, and she's a lot like Adam's grandma, which is also named Helen. Her name was Helen too. Uh-huh. She was a ball buster. You've heard about her a million times. That's Natalia, and it's
in what way? For anyone who doesn't know Natalia, you have
she's
two
my daughter.
6-year-old twins.
Yes,
a girl and a boy. Natalia's the girl.
Right. They're Adam's kids too. So,
yes.
So Natalia is very, she knows what she wants and she's going to get what she wants. I mean, she was with Gary one day and Gary took her and LB, Stephanie's daughter, to go get hot chocolate and she didn't want any milk in it. And so Gary had to go back and get another hot chocolate without the milk. I mean, she want what she wants, and my mom was the same way. My mom she wanted something at the store, wanted to exchange it.
Adam is the same way.
Adam is the same way too. Mm-hmm. My mom was doing it. Yeah, very good, Allison. My mom was doing it in a kooky, weird, embarrassing way, or she was returning something, and the lady would say, "No, ma'am, that's non-returnable." She would want to talk to the manager and make a big fuss.
Yeah.
But Adam is that way, like in a different way, right? Yeah, in the way you know.
Yeah.
So, but my daughter, here's what I was gonna say. My daughter, which is creepy. She, when she was little, when she was like 3 years old and 4 years old, and I would have my hair in a ponytail, she would pull the rubber band out of my hair and want my hair down. And if I put it in a ponytail, she'd go, This was before she could talk. And then when she was 3 and then she was 4, she would, Mommy, take your hair down. Mommy, take your hair down. Mommy, she's always, that was my mom.
Trying to do a makeover on you.
That was my mom, because my mom was into looks. She liked the pretty, girls that I hung out. And so if I didn't have makeup on, or I didn't, and I'm not a makeup-y person, or if I dressed schlubby, she didn't like it, and she didn't like when I put my hair in a ponytail. And she would always tell me, take my hair down out of the ponytail, which is very strange.
Yeah. Now, what was that about with your mom? Like, what would she say?
She would. She just said, Lynette, it's the same. It goes back to the same as Cook Adam dinner. She's just old school, traditional. The girl, but even as a kid, put together. You don't look like a slob. You need to be put together. You need to look nice. You need to, presentable and blah blah blah. And also, we moved to California, and they were putting me in, taking me to auditions and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
And so there was all that.
Was
crap.
that their idea? Or was
it was all their idea. I did not like that at all.
What I'm remembering, I've seen a photo, a headshot from when you were a kid. It's so cute. It's hanging in
the bar. Yeah.
Did you do a lot of acting?
No, because you could tell on the auditions. I didn't want to do it, and so I didn't have it in me when we'd go on auditions. And at the time, I was all looking for the all-American looking kid, and I did not. I had the afro. I didn't, but I did do stuff. I mean, I was Ronald Reagan's daughter when he was running for president in an ad.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he put his arm around me and he talked about my future, and I have it on tape. And then I was Johnny Carson. I was a Mighty Carson art player. And I did some voiceover and stuff like that, but nothing exciting.
When did you stop doing it?
when I could drive, when I turned 16, because then I started driving myself to auditions, and then I stopped and went, what am I doing? I don't want to do this. And then I said, I'm not doing this anymore, and that was that.
And they were fine with that?
Because at that point, they want you showing up in a bathing suit on the beach for a Pepsi commercial and a bikini and all that, and that's not me, and I was done. I was like, this is not for me. So that's what happened with that.
Having that emphasis on how your friends looked and how you looked, how did that affect you? Like, did that make you
this is interesting. I've never been interviewed like this. With that pressure from my parents, you mean?
Yeah. Like, did it make you feel like maybe you...
No, it didn't. It didn't do anything.
Okay.
No, because my mom was nuts, and I just kind of took it with a grain of salt, and just kept. Pam, one of my best friends, was overweight, and she just would say she's lazy. And I would argue with her, and but there was no changing her. This, again, sounds like somebody we know. There was no changing her outlook. She labeled Pam lazy, and that was that, and she wasn't. But because she was overweight,
Does
it's terrible.
What kind of feedback? Like, does Adam care how you put yourself together? And
No.
I should say that you're always like very beautiful every time I see you. But
Thank you.
Because I'll go days where I pretty much just wear sweatpants and I don't put on makeup unless I have to go out. And my boyfriend, as far as I know, he thinks I'm beautiful no matter what. Although, how could anyone truly, because obviously one looks more put together. But I think, in a way, I almost feel too comfortable.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You don't want somebody that cares.
I don't. But
no, I'm the same way. I wear the same thing 2-3 days in a row. I don't wash my hair for a couple days. I take a shower every day, but. Adam's Adam. He doesn't care. He doesn't think twice about that kind of stuff. In fact, he goes the opposite. Like, my hair started turning gray after the kids, and I wanted to get my hair highlighted. No. My whole relationship with that, I always wanted to get highlights, and I would do it every now and then, and he was right. It would turn orange, and then I'd have to go and change it back. And he would say, stop monkeying with your hair. Your hair is beautiful. Leave it alone,
Oh.
And all that kind of stuff, I want to get lip injections. No. You don't need to do that. You don't need... I'm confusing Adam with my mom. doing her accent. But yeah, he didn't care. He doesn't care. No, I mean he's complimentary when I'm dressed up and stuff. He says I look nice. You know, we're very relaxed that way. I don't care. I think Adam's cute when he wears his Adidas pants and his flip flops.
Oh, what was I going to? Oh yeah, what's your reaction to hearing him talk about you on the podcast?
Well, I like it when he says nice things, and I don't like it when he says, well, I get mad. I do. I get mad at a lot of stuff that he says, and he hasn't done it in a while, like the coffee cup. You remember that? Yeah. I left a little spittle in the coffee cup. Don't rinse it out at the sink, and he gets pissed off. The keys by the door. Put the keys by the door. Put the key. You know, and then when he goes on the air and he complains about it, it upsets me. And he comes home and I'll, you know, he'll know when I'm mad. What's the matter? What, you listen to the show? What is that? You know, and most of the time he'll, you know, he doesn't apologize, but then there's some times where he'll say, yeah, you're right, I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, I won't, you know, blah blah blah. But and a lot of times early on it was worse early when we were dating, because we dated for a long time, like 7 years, and you know, girls would come in and flash him his boob. That's the kind of stuff that bothered me, and he felt really bad about. And he would say, "Oh, Mama, that's just radio talk. That's just radio."
Oh, you mean on the show they would do that?
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's not like you can hear the breasts.
I know. He'd say, "Show us a winger. Come on," and on Love Line and stuff like that. And you know, he could have been married to a Hooters girl right now, because he met a Hooters girl the same week he met me. And it was like the Acoustic Christmas, K-Rock Acoustic Christmas, and Ricky Rackman was telling him to take the Hooters girl, you know, because Ricky didn't meet me. He's like, take that Hooters girl, you know, she's hot, blah, 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 and to Acoustic Christmas. And he immediately after the show, because I was listening to the show, he called me and he said, I don't know if you were listening to the show or not, but I'm going to be taking you if you want to go. I'm not taking the Hooters girl.
God. Something's happening inside me.
Yeah, it was
so
very sweet. Yeah, I know. It was very sweet. Yeah.
How long did you...
That's the nice Adam.
Gary, why aren't you melting?
I know these stories. Sorry.
You don't know that story, the Hooter girl story, do you?
I don't know the Hooter girl story, but I think
you know the side of Adam I'm talking about. Yeah.
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 Well, I think it's very sweet.
It is sweet. I wish he was like that still. No, he's definitely hard. He was sweeter back then, and he's definitely gotten harder as life.
Yeah, but every now and then, when he thinks people aren't looking, when it's like just us, and like he'll step into the engineering room sometimes, especially when it was in the old studio where you couldn't see, and listen to you guys on For Crying Out Loud, like when the kids are on there, and he gets this smile on his face like a 16-year-old girl. I mean, it's really
right.
Yeah,
he
definitely loves you guys.
He'll get misty in the studio every now and again.
Oh yeah, no, he still has it in him. But yeah, that night he used to make me dinner and stuff like that.
What would he
say,
make?
Come over, I'm going to make you some victuals. I'm going to be banging some pots and pans for you, Mama. Come over.
Oh,
you know.
What would he make?
He made linguine and clams a lot with broccoli, with like broccoli, and you know, I just remember that, and that's about it, really. I have a picture of him actually making that, but yeah, he's a very sweet guy, and so that's why I get upset. But you know, that's part of it. Yeah, it's part of the business.
All right, so let's talk the wedding. And I don't know if I know the proposal story either.
No, have you said the proposal story? Oh, for me?
Talking about yours.
Oh, mine?
Oh, yeah, I know mine.
Oh, yeah, he proposed, no. He proposed once and didn't mean it, and then we broke up. So...
How did you know he didn't mean it?
Because I was pushing him to get married. We got to get married. It was the year of the Man Show, and they were on vacation with the Juggies, and I was just, you know, I was getting, you know,
And how long
antsy.
had you guys been together at this point?
Like 4 years. And even Jimmy was like, come on, it's time for you to, you know, shit or get off the pot. And everybody was pushing him. And so he went and got Jimmy's ex-wife, wife at the time, went with him ring shopping and got an antique ring, which I still wear to this day, actually. But I replaced it with a Bloomingdale ring. But, and bought a ring, and then he one night had it in his pocket, and we were watching The Sopranos or something, and he said, he had a box. It was in a box, a ring box, but it didn't look. It was like an antique ring box. It looked weird. And he said, and he threw it. He kind of tossed it at me. It was in his robe. He was in his robe, and he tossed it. He goes, he was laughing, and I, when you laugh, what is this? And then I was like, smelled it. What is this, weed? I thought it, and he goes, and he started laughing, and he goes, no, open it. And I opened it, and it was the ring. And I went, oh my gosh. And then, and then he didn't say, well, you're marrying me. He just was laughing, and he was smiling, and he kissed me. And then he said, yeah, Mama, well, let's get married. It's time. Let's get married. And then like a month later, we broke up. Drew, had a heart-to-heart with him and said, if you're not ready, you got to cut Lynette loose. You can't, string her along. And it was, oh, my God, it was so heartbreaking when we broke up.
Did you know that he wasn't ready?
No, I kind of felt it. I felt it. I knew it. I knew it, but I didn't want to know it.
Right.
I knew it. And
how did he tell you?
Oh, it was horrible. Oh, my God. It was... No, he did it. I came home from work, and we were living in the house together, and I know Van Halen was playing on the radio. I ain't talking about love. And I walked up to the stairs. I had a normal day coming home from work, went to open the door, and he was standing at the door, and he like as if he had bad news to say. And he was kind of had that look. And when you see Adam and he gets upset and he starts crying and he gets quiet, he was doing that. And I said, what's the matter? And he goes, I can't get married. I'm sorry. And he just started crying. And then I was crying. I was laying on the floor crying. What am I going to do? I have no place to live. I never lived by myself before, which is another reason why I was pushing him. My roommate moved out and got married. And I didn't, so I moved in with him because it made sense.
Right.
And and then I said, well, are we going to stay together? And he said, no, I don't think we should. I think that we should, He wanted to feel what life was like as a celebrity. It was his first year in the Man Show and blah, blah, blah. But I was just depressed and crying and upset for days. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Ugh, it was awful. And he helped me move into the Oakwoods, which was corporate housing. And then he helped me put a down payment for a condo. And then I made the payments. It was my place, and it was my very first. And then I loved it. Oh, then I was happy. I was living by myself, and people were setting me up on dates, but I was still heartbroken.
How long were you guys apart?
9 months, I think. And then
were you mad at him?
I was mad at him, but he would always, at least once a month, he would just call. How you doing? Everything good? And you check, And then I found out he dated his co-host on Loveline, the model that was co-hosting at the time. And I was, oh God. Oh, I went over there to pick up my mail, and she was there. And
Who was it?
It was a week later after we broke up. And oh my God, I got so upset. I said all over again. I just thought he couldn't get married. Now now he's on a date.
Yeah.
He's drinking wine in his living room with his.
Wait, who was this person?
It was Catherine McCormick. She's a blonde. Well, she was his co-host on Loveline, just for not Diane Farr, who I love. She was just this blonde, modelly girl, and I'm glad he did. Now I'm looking back, I'm just like, thank God he did, And then he started coming around again, and then on one Friday night he said, how about I go get some takeout and I'll come over and we'll watch Boy Meets World. And I said, okay. And that was it. Then we dated again for another 4 years, and I didn't bring up marriage. I was like, I brought it up in the beginning when we started. So what are we doing? Are we dating again? He said, yeah, it feels right. It feels good. And I said, what, are we going to get married? And he goes, I think so, but let's just enjoy. And I said, all right. And at that time, I felt the same way. I said, fuck it, let's just enjoy. I like my house. I like my condo. I had a good job. I was fine, so we just dated for 4 months. And then when the Man Show ended, that's when we just said, let's get married. And then we got married. Yeah.
And wait, did you say that was 4 months?
No,
after?
4 years.
4 years
yeah,
after.
Okay.
Yeah. And then was there another proposal at that point?
No.
Or was it just a decision?
No, it was the Man Show was ending. It was all in the same sentence, March, it's ending. So why don't, we can get married this summer. And I said, okay, all right. And I didn't move into his house at all. And I mean, we used to the night of the wedding. I still had my condo and I still lived there. And then we even said, how about I just keep my condo and we're married and I'll live there and you live here. And he liked that idea, but it didn't, never, it didn't even cross our mind the day after the wedding, which was so weird, or at least my mind didn't. It was okay, now I'm his wife, I'm going to live there.
Yeah.
And then that's when, water the pots, put the keys by then he started, getting hard.
Oh, was he not particular before then?
No, he was, but I never lived with a guy before, and he, and so he expected a certain thing, make the coffee in the morning because I'm getting up to go to work, and I wasn't doing that. And he was like, he'd get mad. Well, yeah, to make the coffee. So that side of him, I didn't really see that much. Mm-hmm. And then it started coming. You got to water the pots. Well, that's not my job. You own this house too. You're my wife. Then that's when that started kicking in. I'm sweating.
So where did you guys get married?
We got married in his backyard, our backyard where we were living. And he had a party house he's talked about, but
right.
It was in the next, it was not very far away. And he said, I want to get married, but I just want to have a small ceremony and then have a big party. And I said, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. And he said, I don't want my guy friends over, and, you can have a couple of your girlfriends or whatever, but I don't want to get married in front of everybody. And so we did. We had a really beautiful wedding in his court, I keep saying his because it was his first house he bought, in the courtyard where by the fountain. It was beautiful. It was misting rain that day. And he cried and I cried. And then his buddies actually crashed. I mean, Ray showed up, Ray.
Why did he not want them?
He didn't want to get married in front of his guy friends, he was shy that way. But they showed up anyways. They barged right in and that day. And then my girlfriends were bridesmaids, but then they were there, and then they left to go to the reception, was at his other house, the party house. And
so did he not have a groom's party?
No, he didn't have. He had Chris, his buddy Chris, married us, and because he was licensed to do that or whatever, and he felt comfortable with that. So Chris married us, and that was fine. But he didn't have his guy friends there.
Right.
Wait. Chris Bohm married you guys? Mm-hmm. Wow, that's awesome. I think, Allison, what you were asking was bachelor party when you said groom's party. I think he did.
No,
No,
although I want to know. I actually meant, because she said she had her friends as bridesmaids, and I was just wondering if he had dudes up there. But did he have a bachelor party?
Yes, he had a bachelor party on Lake Mead on a houseboat with Jimmy and Jeff Ross and Cousin Sal and a bunch of guys. And, yeah, he did. Dixon, Baby Doll Dixon. Yeah, he did.
Ray.
With
ringworm.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
I have heard this story.
And
then,
Jeff Ross with his peed on somebody or something.
I don't think that Jeff almost lost his brand new Rolex.
Right,
that
that's
Ray
it.
had to rescue.
Right. Yeah.
How did Jeff have a Rolex?
That's a good question.
He had just gotten a TV dealer. It was a symbol of making it. It was the first extravagant thing he had ever bought himself. And he lost it and basically burst out crying. It was a huge, and then Ray
Jeff
rescued
Ross.
it. Yeah, he's great.
Oh, yeah.
Did you and at this point we've now left me interviewing you in a way that will be interesting to your listeners or to mine, and now I'm just asking wedding questions because I have it on my mind, and it seems like such a pain in the ass. I mean, did you have people come in and decorate it, and did you have the whole big deal? Did you have the flowers and the whatnot?
Yeah, he let me just do my thing. I asked, does he want to be involved with picking stuff out or whatever? And no, he was fine. I wanted an Italian theme because the house where we got married is from the 1920s, and with the fountains and the bricks and stuff, it looked very, And then over at the party house, we decorated it really, on the centerpiece had fruit, figs, and flowers, and those old Chianti wine, And then we had Frankie's on Melrose cater it, and it was all old traditional Italian food, and there was about 250 people, and my girls.
Big.
But I had a wedding party. Oh no, you know what? His guy friends had boutonnieres, so he had 6 guy friends with boutonnieres, so that people at the reception knew that those were some guys were somebody special to Adam, and then the girls were somebody, Right. So then the girls had bridesmaid dresses. So so there was a wedding party kind of thing, but it was, I don't know. But it was, and I've never seen, Adam really was the happiest I've ever seen him. He had a smile on his face the whole night. And I actually just got our wedding tapes converted onto a DVD. But I'll show you guys pictures or whatever. But he was the happiest. We walked into the theme of The Godfather, "Speak Softly," and we danced. And then the second song was "I Like Big Butts and I Can't."
Oh, Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Yeah,
traditional.
Yeah. Don Barris DJ'd our wedding, who's the warm up over at Jimmy Kimmel Live, and Jimmy gave his speech, and it was fun. Yeah, we had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's our wedding.
Were your parents there? His parents there?
Yeah, his parents, my parents, all the family. There was probably 23 people at the house, and we got married, and we had a bottle of champagne, and we just kind of hung out, and it was very relaxing and very mellow and very sweet. And then we all got in cars and went over to the party house, and everybody was waiting for us over there, which was fun. So then we made our entrance. So it was, people liked that, I think, and it was fun. It was a good time. And then it ended with people in the pool. Jeff Ross got pushed in the pool, and Jimmy's ex-wife jumped in the pool. Jimmy and Gina were going through a divorce right then, and she was miserable and upset, and she jumped in the pool, and that started a whole
Where'd you guys go on your honeymoon?
Well, that night I wanted to be by the beach, so we stayed at some inn in Malibu, and that was nice, but it wasn't anything special. And then we said, okay, but we got married in September, so then on Christmas break we took a week and we drove to Mount Zion. We passed the Grand Canyon. We went to Mount Zion and some other mountain place that was
Zion. It's in Utah, right?
Yeah,
it's really pretty.
It is pretty. It's pretty, but we were kind of bored. We drove the whole way, and then we got there and we stayed at a breakfast in
it's
B&B.
Very rustic.
Yeah,
very roughing it.
Imagine
right?
what a bed and breakfast was like over there. Yeah, like a Samoan.
Depressing,
yeah, it was not. I didn't know what a bed and breakfast really was. I thought it sounded great, but
it does sound. Yeah, I've never been to one, but it does sound very quaint. But it's probably just
But you're in somebody's house. Yeah. Oh, Adam was so uncomfortable. and then that night he said, tomorrow we're supposed to stay there 2 nights, and then drive to Sedona and stay there for a couple nights, go to a spa and stay at a nice hotel. But then Adam said, screw that. We're driving straight through, and the next morning we're just gonna. We're not staying here another night. And then we stayed there, and that was nice, and that was around Christmas time. So we celebrated our honeymoon, a couple months later. We didn't do it then.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know.
Have you put any thought into your...
I know that I want to have a wedding. I mean, I was saying... I don't know. It could be anything from us eloping to having a whole big thing. And the more I think it's just that I hadn't adjusted to the idea yet. And now that I'm adjusting more to it, I am thinking that, I think that would be kind of depressing just to elope or something like that.
Have a wedding, yeah.
So I want to have a wedding, but it's just so expensive.
I know.
And I don't know exactly what I want, and I don't know, I don't even know the size, or I don't know. I think it's just that I'm at the very beginning of starting to think and starting to look around. I mean, I think Daniel has that thing that it sounds like Adam had, which is he feels a little bit shy about getting up there in front of a whole bunch of people. And I think we're both thinking small-ish.
Right.
But it's like then when you sit down and make the list, okay, well, let's say very small. It's like suddenly that's big.
Right. So I know. You could do a small little, ceremony and then a big reception or something like that. But you should have a wedding. Yeah. Allison. You'll like it. And it feels good. Yeah. It's a different kind of feeling. I mean, and Adam too, he'll tell you, to have everybody there that you feel the love and everybody's happy and they're smiling and they're toasting. And when in your life do you ever have that? You never get that, you know? To have all your loved ones toasting you and being so happy for you. I mean, that's why Adam was so happy. I mean, he was just bursting. It was so nice. And if you can, it's nice to try.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the more, because I started the process sort of like how I started thinking about the ring, which is just to drop, a huge amount of money on, the ring is different though, because that stays, but like the idea of just pissing away a huge amount of money on this thing, like that just seems so silly when it's just this, and the money could be used for a house or for this or for that and blah blah blah. But I was like, probably every bride starts there. No one is like, I want to go drop a ton of money. But then the more I think about it, the more I listen to people, it's like, I don't want to look back and think, yes, we did this so on the cheap that we didn't even enjoy it, and I don't know.
But I think that you don't have to spend that much money. I think that this town that we live in, too, it puts the pressure on you. You're going to have beautiful flowers, or you're going to have this place and that. You can do it, not that expensive.
It's the venue at this point is what I'm trying to figure out. I think once we figure that out, then it'll start falling into place.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I don't want to be that person who's just worrying about money. But Jesus Christ,
It
is.
is.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to accept that that's how it's going to be, and that it'll be worth it. I mean, I know with my sister's wedding, it was just insanity leading up to it, and then something happened and it felt magical, and she doesn't regret any bit of the insanity.
And that will happen for you, I think. Yeah.
It's funny when I mentioned on the show, because I told the story of the proposal on my show first, because time-wise it happened, and then when I announced it on this show, Adam was like,
The Adam Carolla Show.
"Oh yeah, sorry, I'm being that person."
We're doing
who's just
2
like,
shows right now that aren't either of them the Adam Carolla Show.
I know. Sorry
Right.
about that. Right. So when I announced it on the Adam Carolla Show, for anyone who's wondering, I'm sitting in my seat where I normally sit for the Adam Carolla Show. Hence, I just assumed that that's what we were doing right now.
Right.
So
Staring at massive logos.
Yeah,
Totally
exactly.
understandable.
And then Adam's first thing was like, "Oh, what made you decide marriage?" Which was, of all the things he could have asked me, that was not what I was expecting.
Really? That was what he said?
Yeah. I mean, but it makes sense in a way. But I feel like I think that is a window into what his thought process was. Because for me, it's like there was never really much of a question about it. It's just, well, because that's just where we are in our relationship. And that's the direction we're going, and we're going to have kids one day.
Right.
And
That's
blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, you know? But I ended up, on the show, the Adam Carolla Show, I ended up saying, well, we both want to have kids, blah, blah, blah. And it was the most unromantic answer. And
Right.
I wanted to be like,
Adam will do that to
P.S.
you.
and we're in love. Although,
Adam will suck that right out of you in a conversation.
but it's funny though, but what he said, no, actually, I think the first thing he said is, "You're going to love it," because he was very effusive about how much I'm making the right choice and I'm going to love it.
Right.
But it's just the way he framed the question.
Right.
It's like, oh, I hadn't considered the not doing
getting
it really
Right,
exactly.
Right.
I don't know.
Why would you? Yeah.
But then in the break, he was saying again, he's like, "I think you're really going to like it." And because you spend so much time thinking like, when and are we, and then like, once you just get that off the plate, then you can just be happy.
Exactly. That's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other thing, like for a marriage, I think I thought about it. I was thinking about how long we've been together, and it's just you have to make just a choice that you're going to be with this person, and then once you make that choice, then it all kind of, even though there's really hard, difficult times, you always know in the back of your mind, well, you made the choice, so you're going to have to figure it out. You're just going to work it out. It's
interesting. I mean, since getting engaged, well, we got a puppy, and then we got engaged, and so since the two of them, there has been extra stress on the relationship, and that we've been working through things that never really came up before, and I don't know if it's part of me wants to think, oh, it's the engagement, and it's this new label on the relationship, and that's affecting it or something, and bringing stuff to the forefront. I think it is actually more the puppy it's like all of a sudden we have a child, but we didn't have 9 months to prepare.
I'll tell you, it's probably the puppy.
Yeah, I think it is. But I'm glad that it's coming up now, because I would rather we work out how we're going to do this now than when we have a kid.
Right.
But yeah, it is all of a sudden. It's like it's thorny. I mean, we're getting through it, but a lot of stuff's coming up.
Just don't. Sometimes you'll get to those points where you'll think, "What did I do? Oh my God, I made a mistake," or "Why am I here?" or what Yeah,
because the feeling it's a feeling of, this doesn't feel good right now, and I'm the kind of person who likes to get away from things that don't feel good.
Yes. So you just kind of have to know that you made that decision, and that's just because you'll know, even though you're feeling like that, once you get over that, you're fine, and you're happy, content, or whatever, and and everything works out.
Well, that's the thing, and I think he's learning my patterns more, is that it can be really tense and tough, and I'm unhappy, and we're talking about it. And I think, that makes him anxious, for lack of a better word, because all of a sudden he's worried about what's going on because I seem so distraught over something. And then we talk about it, and then I am fine because I feel like we understand each other. I got it out. We're communicating. Everything's fine. And I think at the beginning it was a little bit like, what? Like, this is like a whiplash of me changing,
Right.
But I think he's learning that that's just sort of my pattern. And I'm learning that that's my pattern too. Like, things feel worse than they are.
You'll learn a lot about yourself. And what I learned, that things do seem worse than they are.
Yeah.
You really have to step back and think. And it's just not even just in marriage, just in life too.
Yeah.
With problems. But you're going to like it.
It's all very. Did you read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus?
No.
I find John Gray to be an insipid person, although I would love to have him on my show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend if ever he wants to. But I hate that I am like, have you read this book? But it's actually, I find it to be pretty
interesting,
astute. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I think we should do some Just Me or Everyone.
Okay.
There's a song.
Okay.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. So this is where people have tweeted us things they do that make them wonder, is it just them or everyone? And then we'll tell them. Jonathan Vance says, I prefer to blow my nose with a paper towel rather than a facial tissue. Puffs feel weird. Oh, hell no. Because sometimes I will blow my nose into a paper towel, and then you get it's too rough.
It's too
you
rough.
get the cuts on your nose,
Yeah.
like little flakies, and then it looks like you have a cocaine problem or there's boogers on your nose.
Yeah, I don't
Make my nose
like
itch.
that. Yeah. I have to have tissue.
Right. Gary, you're sick right now. What do you do?
Use your shirt, your sleeve.
Right now I have been because I don't want to leave, and I don't want to leave the room. But no, definitely tissues. Paper towels way too rough.
Come on, Jonathan. I mean, even Viva, which are pretty soft.
Well, look at Jonathan. He's got a beard and everything.
Yeah, he's used to abrasiveness.
Yeah.
TJN91. Whenever I hear the phrase fitted sheet, I mentally transpose the first letters of the word to make it shitted feet. I love that. I don't do that. Now I will, but
I know. Now I will too.
I love that. Years ago, a friend told me that her potential book editor had asked if she could send some writing smapples. He misspelled sample as smapple, and now I always, whenever I see the word sample, I think smapple, and it cracks me up.
I hate folding fitted sheets, though.
Yes.
Ever try and fold a fucking fitted sheet?
Does not fucking
it doesn't
work.
fold.
Daniel,
It's a pain in the ass.
at one point, he was like, there's got to be a better way. So he Googled it and then watched some how-to video, and he knows some way, but I haven't learned.
That's a good idea.
I've watched 3 of those videos. My mom keeps sending them to me because I bitch at her constantly, and I still can't fucking
I
figure
just
it
kind
out.
of wad him up and stuff him into a closet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so do I.
Really? I'm going to Google it. I got to figure that out.
I hope you can't figure it out, because if you can, I'm going to feel
can't.
really stupid.
Don't worry. I won't be able to.
I'll ask Daniel.
Bryant Rich, going up in an elevator, I sneer at anyone going to a lower floor. You couldn't walk up to 3, I'm going to 4. No, I don't do
No,
that.
I've never.
Okay.
I'm lazy, too.
Floor 2 in a 20 floor or more building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
LB Timko. Just me or everyone. Throw away the last little bite of the banana that is attached at the bottom.
Yes.
Just feels wrong to eat.
I do
Really?
that every day.
Everyone does that. I don't eat bananas that often, but I feel like sometimes I do eat the banana butt.
I can't stand it. I
Why?
agree with.
Because it has
I
that
agree.
little nub in it.
Yeah, I've been eating bananas a lot. I slice them up and put them in my granola cereal, and I cannot eat that thing. And Adam will walk by and see that. And he'll go, what are you doing? Aren't you going to eat that? No. Eat it. I just don't like it. Oh. It's got a little weird stem at the end.
Yeah, you're kind of
Doesn't
shuddering just
belong.
talking about it.
I don't like
You
it.
can pick the stem out, though, sort of.
You could.
Right. Gary, what about you?
Yeah, I don't eat bananas that often, but I don't like to eat that last little piece because I'm afraid that, something's going to stick to the bottom of it. It's going to, scrape my mouth.
Where are you guys with pizza crust?
Depends on the pizza, but I tend to eat the crust.
I eat half of the crust. I can't finish it.
Where
I
are
feel
you
like I
with
get too full.
sandwich crust?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Because remember being little and wanting the crust cut off?
Yeah.
Okay. Bot Marley. Smell my pet's food as I feed him and wonder how it tastes, but I'm too scared to try. Do other people want to try their pet's food? I swear on the Adam Carolla show, I asked this question, and I asked if anyone had tasted their pet's food. I have
That's
not.
so funny.
However, I spend a lot of time now thinking about pet food and pets and reading the
too.
labels and stuff and thinking it couldn't be that bad. I mean, one of the kibbles smells fishy, so that would probably not be good. But
Does your dog eat kibble or cans?
kibble.
Kibble. That's good. Staying with that. Yeah. Yeah, I think about that. Sometimes I think to myself, God, this thing's, because it's canned and it's gelatinous, it's disgusting. And I wonder what it would taste like. And it's gross.
We should all just try it sometime.
No way.
Yeah, tell
no
me how
way.
that goes for you.
No, I would never.
Rob Jones. Every time I'm in a grocery store, no matter what song is being played, I can't help but walk to the beat. I think I do that a little bit, and then I get self-conscious.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I don't, but I definitely caught myself singing Bop at the supermarket a couple days ago out loud with my sunglasses on. I felt like a real dick.
I do, yeah.
Mitch Serp. I constantly think I need to rearrange my living room for no apparent reason. Yes. Oh, yes.
Really?
And I'm insane in this. I haven't done this in a long time because now it's just the puppy has taken over and there's puppy toys and puppy stuff everywhere, and I've given up. I used to constantly feel this way. In fact, moving in with Daniel was one of the best things that ever happened to me because he could move the furniture around, even though I always felt really bad. He didn't seem to mind, though. And I always suspect it has to do with how I'm like, this is an emotional thing that I am projecting onto this. It's not really this. And yet, when the place is clean, I do feel better. So I don't know.
I never want to do that.
All right. Well, I know Adam is very particular, and he has really good taste, though. Like, the place is really nice, but are those... do you have opinions about decor and design as well, or is that more him?
No, it was him more in the beginning, but now I took over. You know, I'm updating the curtains that we've had for 10 years. It's got to go. You know, kind of that kind of stuff. My problem is the pictures and the picture frames around the house. They need to be updated, and I'm just too lazy to do
I
it.
have actually talked about this on my show. All the pictures that I have in picture frames are from high school, basically, because I mean. That's an exaggeration, but they're from a long time ago because I don't print out pictures anymore.
Exactly. I know. It's sad.
Gnome saying, does everyone look different in every mirror, or is that just me? How do you know which one is right? Well, wow. It's as if people are really cluing in to all of my idiosyncrasies is a nice way to put it. So I decided that we needed a full-length mirror. And then that launched a small amount of insanity over it's hard to find a mirror that doesn't have distortion, and also how do you get all the smudges off, and that's kind of subsided. But yeah, I was having trouble with all of a sudden I became so aware of how distorted all mirrors are.
Yes, they
or
are.
How distorted my sense of myself is.
Yeah. There's 2 full-length mirrors in the changing room at my gym. And one makes you look squatty and short, and then the other one is I think is true. So I stick with the one that's truer.
I do when I suspect something is distorted. I do this thing where I take my hand and I put it horizontal and then vertical, and then I move it like down and then up. And when my hand looks
you
squat
must look
or
like
something,
an idiot doing that.
Oh, I'm sure I do. I look like I'm feeling myself up, but like from a distance.
But that's a good idea, though.
It's just because I'll look and I'll think.
Is it?
Is that my fat ass? Or I'll be like, is that my thin ass? No, and then I got to do the hand thing. Sean Rob Dixon says, while in the 12 items or less line, I count the amount of items the person in front of me has. No, I don't do that, but I kind of obsessively count my own items.
Exactly. I do too. And then I don't have the patience, so I just go to the self-checkout and I just do it that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're a hero. I've only done that a couple times. For some reason, I
go to the
hate
grocery store like twice a week, though. I'm always at the grocery store.
What's your beef with the self-checkout? The only thing annoying about it is if you're buying alcohol.
This is my beef, I'll tell you. I suspect that it is going to mess up, and then I'll be like beached there, and then I won't be able to get anyone's attention, and
yeah.
I don't know.
I used to feel that way, too.
Does that happen?
Yeah, sometimes, but then somebody does come. Well, my store, there is a guy sitting there a lot, but you get used to it. You'll get used to it. I just didn't like it, the produce thing, look up the produce and all that. That I didn't like, but now I'm used to it, and now I do it if I can.
Gary, you self-checkout?
Yeah, all the time. But the store I go
Gary,
to...
probably, what do you get? Like condoms and a pack of beer?
Shut up. No, but the store I go to has like a little dude that's sitting there at the end of the... I buy that in bulk through Amazon. Click through Alison Rosen, yournewbestfriend.com or cryingoutloudshow.com.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you.
But, yeah.
Self-checkout.
Self-checkout all the time. And there's a guy sitting there.
All right.
There's like 4 stations, and there's a dude sitting there, and if there's a problem, they help.
I remember when they started at CVS. This is when I was living in Brooklyn, and it was the beginning of self-checkout, I think, and it would always fuck up. Oh, you know what it was? It was that I don't even think they had a person there anymore. It was just self-checkout and someone at the photo booth. Yeah. Or at the photo developing. So that's when I began to hate it. But maybe it's come a long way, and I should try it again sometime.
You might like it.
It's funny because when I was a kid, a game that we used to play was grocery store, and someone would, you'd have the toy cash register.
Oh, yeah.
I always wanted to do the swipey thing.
It's fun. You get a satisfaction. You go dink, dink, and you put it in the thing. The only thing though I have problems is that I buy a lot, and so my bags start filling up and filling up and filling up, and I don't know. Am I supposed to take it off and put it down? Can I do that? Can I take it off and put it in the cart?
I don't know. Doesn't it give you a direction about that?
Nah, I don't know. But
all right. Well, those are some good Just Me or Everyone's. Normally, but sometimes I don't have them on my show, we do a segment called Hey, Go Fuck Yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
It's so satisfying
That's
hearing it. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anyone I need to tell to go fuck themselves. Do you guys have anyone you want to call out or anything?
Yes. There was a woman, I was walking Molly the other day, and she just came out of the vet, and I had her on the leash, and I was going to put her in the car, but instead of putting her in the car, I took her for a quick little, do a little pee-pee or whatever, but I didn't have any bags with me. And, of course, she decided to take a shit. And what I do is I get a leaf when I don't have bags. I get leaves, and I use leaves to pick it up. But she was doing that, and I bent down or something, and I looked up, and there was a lady standing there where she was walking to her car, and she kind of was looking at me with a smile. But I realized it wasn't a smile, it was a smirk. And I looked at her and I thought maybe she would, and I said, you don't by any chance have a bag, do you? And she said, well, isn't that your responsibility?
Oh my God, what a cunt.
That's what I said. I said, really? Really? Really?
Wow.
And she walked away. And I was like, you got to be kidding. I just came out of the vet's office is right there.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, lady.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Ugh. You'd think that people would be happy to share bags.
Yes, I know.
I bet. Gary, anything working your nerves?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm too sick to care about anything.
Oh, poor Gary.
You know what, Gary? For coming into work and giving us all your germs, I say...
Hey, I love
You did not!
Yes, you did.
He just did! It's, in a sense, by playing that, you hey, go fuck yourself to me.
That's cute.
A little bit, yeah.
It's okay. It's deserved. I'm torn on the whole germy thing anyway, because I sort of feel like it's around all the time anyway. Well,
Gary, who do you like better?
Who are the choices?
What shows do you like better?
What are the choices? What do you mean?
I don't know, out of all your shows.
I love all the shows I work on.
Okay.
Jim Corolla, Life Lessons with Jim Corolla is my favorite show ever.
Okay.
They're trained to be really diplomatic in there. I tried to ask Chris a question the other day, and it was just
He
like...
told the truth. He said you were beautiful.
I mean, it is the truth, but I could tell that he was just trying to kiss my ass. I appreciate it, though.
Dr.
Very
Drew loves
sweet.
you, Gary.
Yeah, that was very sweet of you to tell me.
Yeah, he did.
And Adam made a very funny bit out of
Oh, he did?
out of it.
Oh.
What are you guys talking to? Hey, remember me? What are you guys talking about?
Sorry, Drew and the Corollas went out to dinner on what?
I don't know, Saturday night.
Lynette was telling me about it at the Laker game, and Adam was saying that he was trying to talk Drew out of it, but Drew would not listen.
What? He was trying to talk... I see.
The bit was, he sure loves you, no matter how much I tried to talk about it. I had to agree to disagree, but it was...
He loves all the guys. Adam loves all the guys here. Adam loves everybody here. He really does.
Even the ones that suck?
Even Dawson. I'm just kidding. I only said that because I just saw him.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lynette, this was really fun. Thank you so much for doing my show on your show.
Thanks for having me on my show on your show.
All right.
This was nice.
And so people can find you on Twitter at Lynette Carolla. Do you anything else you want to plug? Okay,
yeah, that's it.
And me at Alison Rosen. If you're going to buy something on Amazon, click through our banners. Mine is on AlisonRosen.com, and where's yours?
For Crying Out Loud.
Okay, and you can follow Gary on Twitter at @GPatrickSmith. And we both love you.
Yay!
Yay! Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Thank you for choosing the Alison Rosen show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. That's right. That's right. Those good times don't seem to end. That's right. That's right. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now it's time to go. Hope to see you next time for the Alison Rosen show. Yeah! Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
This is Corolla Digital.